Thanks for having me. I'll try to keep it brief as I can. Really tough to do for policy researchers. So we don't hide behind the word competition. We've called for major reforms, the Liquor Control Commission, three-tiered system, all the way down the list. But in any case, we are opposed to this bill because we agree with the Liquor Control Commission on this issue. We don't have rules in the state limiting lots of types of businesses that want to open up next to each other. It is tough. Meijer isn't real happy when a Kroger operates nearby, and they would love a law that prevents them from doing so. But the legislature won't pass that because we believe in the spirit of competition. I totally agree. We should open up competition through all three tiers of the liquor system here in the state of Michigan, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't look at improving competition in the area that we're talking about today. So we've heard two kind of main arguments against this. One on that retailers already have enough competition, and the other that it would harm public safety. But we don't have a lot of evidence for either of those. The first part is no commercial enterprise, even liquor stores, should be arbitrarily protected from market competition. And the safety argument lacks evidence. We have a couple of studies on this, one that looked at Michigan, out of the University of Michigan, which found that actually having a higher density of alcohol establishments was related to lower alcohol consumption, binge drinking, and drunk driving. We also have a study doing that out of the state of California. So the idea that if you get more compact alcohol stores more closely together and having more competition leads to more drinking just hasn't been found to be the case. As somebody noted, Michigan is one of these heavily regulated control states. States that have more competition from alcohol actually have better results in terms of alcohol deaths, drunk driving, and things like that. So we're a free market think tank. We believe in free competition in all areas, and this is one that we're proud to also support more competition and oppose the bill.
Thank you, Jared. We do have a number of questions. Representative Liberati.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for your testimony. Now I understand that your organization would definitely love to blow up the entire LLC or get rid of the three-tier system. I totally understand that. So your argument that you're for competition will hold. I don't think the Liquor Control Commission can make the same argument, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. So my question is, why are we starting with the little guy? I mean, is this the low-hanging fruit? I mean, if the entire industry in Michigan is non-competitive by law, it is absolutely not a competitive market from top to bottom. So there's no competition. It is suppressed. Why are we starting with the little guys, the guys that put the $1 million in the store? I just don't understand it. I mean, your efforts, if you truly want a free market, should start at the top and not at the bottom. So
I totally agree with you, and we've tried that. We've done multiple studies on it. We've called for change to the three-tiered system. It's a tough thing to get through the legislature. I don't think that's any secret on that. So yeah, there are more major things or things that would enhance competition more than this bill. But on the question of this bill and the act from the LCC, I'm coming in saying at least it's a step in the right direction on competition. But I agree, yeah, there's other steps that would be more.
It's a lot easier to put it to the little guy than it is the big guy. I will give you that. Thank you.
Representative Weber.
Yeah, I certainly appreciate the perspective and the testimony. I guess from my perspective is, obviously representative, we all were elected, we all knocked on the doors and did it. Should it be a decision that our state elected officials make versus a commission? And the perspective would be if somebody wanted to introduce a bill doing away with the rule, or if it goes through the JCAR process or that kind of thing, have a vote on getting rid of it so people could see, where you're truly at on this issue. But instead of having, either this bill passes or the commission, does something on it. I mean, what's your perspective on that?
I am all for taking back power from regulatory commissions and putting them in the legislature.
Vice Chair Moss.
Thank Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your testimony. And I assume we all agree here that we have a responsibility to protect the health, safety, and welfare of our constituents. So when you mentioned that this is similar to if a Kroger and a Meijer open up next to one another, the Kroger doesn't want the Meijer there and the Meijer doesn't want the Kroger there. Do you see a difference in protecting the health, safety, and welfare of our residents between an oversaturation of groceries and an oversaturation of alcohol?
That was more to the point of, people talking about the competition and that they're putting investment in an area and then, building a business model on that and then somebody disrupting that system. I totally understand that. I'm sympathetic to it. I was just making the general point that all businesses aren't happy when they get more competition and we don't do something on those ends. To the question on the alcohol side, the vast majority of states do not have a half-mile rule. You have states like Pennsylvania, which are much more heavily regulated, state-run liquor stores, and they aren't seeing these positive health and safety elements for them. So there could be a difference in the alcohol side, but the idea that more strictly regulating it automatically leads to better health and safety, I have not seen anything in the economic literature on that.
I would just say that there is a distinct difference in this particular industry that we're doing something, I think, for the last 40 years that has operated without issue, and we've been doing it right. So I don't look at other states and see what they're doing if for 40 years we've been doing it the right way. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Just for clarification, Jared, how many other states have this rule?
I tried to find that answer. It was really difficult. From what I could tell, none of our surrounding states had it, not to the extent that Michigan did. I couldn't get a final number on it, but I was able to get through that about 30 states absolutely did not have it, and I wasn't able to confirm on the following 20.
Okay. Appreciate that clarification. I'm sorry, Representative Shurkin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sir, I had to step out when you started your testimony, but you're from the Mackinac Center, is that correct?
Correct.
Have you ever owned a liquor store?
I haven't.
Have you ever worked for a Meijer's or a Kroger's or Walmart?
I haven't, nope. I worked for a small grocery store that mostly did vegetables, but not a major one.
Okay. And was your consensus, was that data-driven?
The consensus?
Yeah, you said that you're opposing this bill. I wasn't here for your testimony. I apologize.
Oh, yeah. So the part of the data on the safety side of it that I didn't see a difference in the health and safety side was data-driven, yeah. So I said there's two main studies on that.
Okay. Have you ever did a study in the city of Roseville or Warren, Michigan?
Mm-mm.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
But
Thank you.
I did have a 4-year-old that ran a lemonade stand this summer, and he was unhappy when his 3-year-old sister opened another lemonade stand nearby.